Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee, who have been a part of our journey for the last several years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. We just appreciate you so much. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, aka Dr. Snick, the Sonic Surgeon, for the contribution of his time, his music, and his voice for the intro you just heard. He is an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found on all of your favorite music streaming platforms. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind our logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also specializes in the horror and Halloween genre, but does incredible commission pieces of any sort and lifelike, amazing. Anyway, also big shout out and big thank you to all of our networkers, Heidi, Mark, Patsy, Tamara, so many of you, Janie, so many of you. We're so appreciative of you all as well. Thank you. Tonight, we welcome back a special guest, Max Hawthorne. He's been on before talking about one of his other this guy's just very versed. He's just got things going on like everywhere. But he was on talking about his cryptid research book, Monsters and Marine Mysteries. Really amazing stuff. You guys have to go back into the archives to catch that on the channel. I highly recommend it. Anyway, really amazing topic, and it was a really great segment. So this is going to be an incredible segment because tonight we're going to be talking about his CCTV capture and analysis of what appears to be a shape-shifting phantom cat. Yes, you heard me right. And not just a little guy either. It's just like a big guy. So, there's a lot of stuff out there about cryptid cats to start with. Some even that shapeshift. So let's get the show on the road and welcome Max Hawthorne to the show. Hello, how are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I've been really excited about this. We have Mark Eddy. You guys have seen him in chat. He's just such a sweetie. Anyway, basically, when he put me on to Max's Discover It, I want in. It wasn't even like another thought. Yes, I want in on this. It sounds incredible. So, how do you do you review? You would have to almost review your footage on a regular basis. Was this a by chance thing, or did you just have things going on around the house and figured, I've got to keep an eye on this or something hanging around?
Well, I live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania,
right,
which is pretty well known for all sorts of sightings, from UFOs to Bigfoot to what they call Dog Man and things like that.
Yes.
A few miles from where I live in Doylestown, I remember like every year or two there was a sighting reported by high schoolers and their parents on the way home on some semi-deserted road where a large upright bipedal being covered with fur with a head like a wolf ran across the highway in front of them and leapt 20 feet into the trees. This
wow.
type of stuff. So it is kind of a bit of a hot spot in the area. But what had happened is I was getting footage of a lot of different interesting animals that would show up on the camera, which was located right outside my office. It's
Mhm.
a security camera,
Yeah.
standard stuff, infrared at night.
Mhm.
And so when you would see like raccoons and possums and all different animals, standard stuff. And then one time I got I saw like I was looking out the window and I saw the shrubs rustling, and
Mm.
I hit the capture button on it, and this large black cat just walks out, emerges, and kind of walks across. I could sort of see it in the shadows and went
Mm.
on its way. I didn't think anything of it at the time. This was back in like August of 21, if memory serves.
Yeah.
But and then like later I thought, well, you know what? That seems like an awful big cat. And I went out to where it had been. I did some measurements, and I figured that it was like right past the cot. There's a cement slab at the top of the stairs that lead down into the egress there, and the cat was either right behind the edge of the slab or possibly a few feet further. You really couldn't tell from the
Mm.
footage, but going by, um, how can I say this, being as conservative as possible, I went out, I stood right there, I got footage of myself and
Mhm.
met where it hit, like its shoulder hit on my leg, and it indicated that at a minimum it was 18 inches at the shoulder, which for a
Mm.
house cat is exceptionally large.
Yeah.
I mean, we have cats that are like 12 inches or 13 inches at the shoulder that weigh 20 pounds and they're not fat.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, our Siberian Forest Cats. So I
Right.
was
The
like
big
looking at
big
it and the
cats.
build. Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah.
just figured something that's 1.5 times the height, it's going to be, gosh, 3, 4 times the weight at least, something like that. But
Mm.
so I did like at first a blog post on it. I suspected it was a young mountain lion, and
Mhm.
this is in the video. Everybody will see it, where I had found 4 inch wide cat tracks going across the snow around that time
Mhm.
in our yard, and the snow was only
Yeah.
about an inch deep. And these cat tracks had to be a mountain lion because they were definite cat tracks. But there was no way to prove it, obviously, or anything. But I saw this footage. I was like, maybe this is a young mountain lion. It's possible. So
Mhm.
I kind of left the footage alone after that. And maybe a year or so ago, I started looking at the footage and I was like, you know what? It was so pitch black. Let me lighten it up. So I started raising the brightness on it. And as I did, I started seeing some crazy stuff, which
Mhm.
you see in the video. I mean, as soon as the cat emerges and you see its head appear past the concrete and out of the shrubs, and it's
Mhm.
light, you see the glow on its eyes, the reflection, obviously, of the light. They get that.
Yeah.
And then right behind it, it's like, look, what looks like a shark head is sticking out of its neck here, like actual teeth. You see the video, it's in there.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah.
It's something. Yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
something
well, that's a
interesting.
little weird, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And as it moves, the shark head stayed, and then it moved quick, and it caught up with the cat, and it traveled with it. And then it started to change, and then something else appeared in front of the shark head, another head, and
Mhm.
then another and another. And the animal, as it moves, it just seems to morph along as
Mhm.
it's walking,
Yeah.
and it has like heads and other things like just popping out of its shoulder and its buttocks and its hips and its at one point the heads look like there's 4 or 5 of them, like Cerberus
Mhm.
or something like that, and you
Yeah.
could tell it's not. Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe this is like residual imagery or something like that, but
Mhm.
the heads are all in different positions, and you can even see one towards the camera, it looks like it blinks where the rest don't.
Mhm.
So it's like very strange, and I
Yeah.
got the impression after a while that the animal for some reason was going through some sort of weird, like it couldn't make up its mind.
Like a metamorphosis of some
Yeah,
sort. Just yeah.
it reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing. I'm sure
Yeah.
we've all seen that
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
and where this alien life form emerges, and it's got like dog coming out of it and
Yeah.
person coming out of it, and antennas with eyes on the end, stalks, and
Yeah.
all this different stuff. And it was sort of reminiscent of that.
Mhm.
And it's just the craziest thing because as it walks over a period of 11 seconds, and it's
Mhm.
on YouTube. So, I mean, this isn't a
Mhm.
pay-per-view thing or anything like that. Everybody's welcome to go on there right now and see it. It's on Supernatural Survivor is the channel on YouTube.
Yeah, the
But
link is in the show description, guys. It's over 20 minutes long, so I can't play it because I know I'm being asked, but it's just unfortunately I can't. But I've got the website up here.
you're welcome to pull up and play a few seconds here and there if you want to talk about it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Okay, one second. I'm just going to take this off. And so for YouTube, I want to write it down. It's called Supernatural. Hold on. Okay. Supernatural. What is it now?
Survivor.
Survivor. Okay. All right, guys. I'm just going to put it here on YouTube.
Yeah, just pick a couple a spot or two for a second or two here or there. That is your kind of your you know your favorite stuff, I guess you'd say.
I found it all intriguing. So, so
Supernatural Survivor with this is with real at real. I think it's at real Max Hawthorne is the shortcut to go there.
Okay, hold on. I think I've got it. Phantom Cat Reveal. Look at that. It's a have it up and everything. So give me 1 second here. Okay, so I'm going to come in from 1 second. I'm just finding. Okay. All right. So 1 second. I'm going to put this up and I'm just going to do a screen share. I'm going to remove the picture first and I'll play a few minutes here and there. So bear with me, guys.
Pick a spot where you like it and play like a second or a couple seconds, and then we'll stop it, and then we can talk about it.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Share screen.
Yeah, I don't want my guys to be like, "Oh no, you can't be playing the whole video on another thing or something like that."
Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to put this up and I'm going to play it, and this is sort of how it starts. You can see something on the right. That's just going to be coming in. Okay, see, there we go.
Now, this is it when it's not brightened or anything like that. So you might want to jump ahead.
Yeah, I'm coming in right over here. Okay, so just tell me when I should stop.
You can pull back a little bit. We'll look at that shark head thing, for example.
Oh, there it is. Okay, right, this one. Wow, yeah, there it is. So let me just.
So that's actually not. That's two different faces. Besides that, actually, it's even further back. But we can look at that if you want.
Further back?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so right there.
Okay, here we go.
Quick play. And I'll tell you when they see right there, you can already see the cat's eye. You see that face right there with all the jagged teeth, and it moves with it.
Yeah.
See how it shifted? I let it go another frame. I mean, obviously there's narration that explains everything, but that's not the cat's face. The cat is looking straight ahead, but that's attached. And then there's to see the dark eyes right there. That's another face that's starting to come out as well.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to keep going a bit. I'm paused. Okay, hold on. All right, we're good.
This is indications showing eyes on there. Now see, that's the cat. You see how he turns? You see the shark head on the right there? That's what I'm calling it. It looks like a shark coming at you. It's sticking out of the side of his neck or at the side of his head. Like there's two heads there combined.
Okay,
and there's another little head right there with I showed you with the two eyes in the close-up.
Okay.
Now stop right there. Hold on.
Oh. Where? 1 sec.
That's fine. Right there. Right there, that's pointing. There's another face. I call it a goblin, and you can see there's two eyes. I'm pointing. It doesn't do me any good, but there's the brightness of the cat's eye, and then there's two kind of large eyes under there, and there's a mouth, a dark mouth with teeth that starts to open. I'll let it play a little bit, just a couple of frames. Okay, I'll stop right there if you can.
Okay.
Now what's happened there is that face that I call the goblin that's directly under the arrow, you can see two almost like insect-like eyes. They don't blink, but they're there. And under that there's that dark oval-shaped mouth, which has teeth also. And then to the left of that, you see two larger eyes, almost like insectoid eyes there that are directly running across from it, and a large face. Meanwhile, the glow on the far left is the cat still facing that way. And the entire video is like this. It's just face after face, pieces of bodies, things like that as the animal moves.
Right. Okay. So let me just step ahead a little bit, just where you get into some of the deeper analysis. 1 second. Okay, let's go right here.
Okay. So now right here, you see, see those two large globular-like eyes there?
Yeah.
Okay, and you could see a mouth and some sharp teeth. And to
There we
the
go.
left of that, there's another large face.
There we go. And you've
It's
sent a
almost
couple of pictures with this too that we
yeah.
can play in a bit.
And the lower arrow right there, I'm sorry, where it's pointing there, you see
Yeah.
those dark oval shapes that are like angled. Well,
Mm-hmm.
as it moves, that ends up looking like the face. In fact, you could see it more vertical. It's like the face of a gray, which is attached to its leg, or is its leg. And it's
Right.
like this being, this animal cannot seem to figure out what it wants to be. In the center, there's a large face that looks like where the rib cage is, that looks like a dog man, a
Mm-hmm.
werewolf, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's just all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like a glitch in the matrix.
Hmm.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't.
I think that's
they-
enough for now, though. I
yeah.
don't want to
Okay.
get, we
Well,
want
I
people.
want to try to. I want people to go to your channel as
Okay,
well
you see right
to
there
watch.
now?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't
See
show you.
right there. Yeah.
Now, I highlighted some of these things to show, like I put red eyes and then I put brighten manually, but those teeth are actually there when you look at it as the frames move on and stuff. So every
Mhm.
stage by stage, I had to go like 2, 3 frames, 5 frames at a time because
Mhm.
there's so much stuff. It's like pop, 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 pop.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
So,
go
so
ahead.
just to clarify, you're not a stranger to working with film per se,
Oh no, my major in college was film and animation. I
right?
used to actually be an animator. That was my original career.
Yeah, right there. Okay. So there we go. So there are cats in there's a lot of folklore on shape-shifting cats out
Hmm.
there, right? I mean, you can get into um again through folklore where you can get into uh the back what is it, a Bakanico Chinese folklore, and these are cats that literally have supernatural powers, including shape-shifting, right? I mean, first that came to my mind was almost, almost like a skinwalker type of thing, but you know.
People have said that to me. I see what Carrie said. Was it trying to figure out which suit to use or what? I think what happened is the animal was not expecting to see me, and even though it probably weighed about maybe 80
Mhm,
pounds as a cat,
mhm,
standing there at the window, and I think it was alarmed.
mhm,
And certain animals will, when they're intimidated or nervous, they'll swagger, they'll try and look bigger. They'll go up on their toes, things like that. They'll puff out.
mhm,
Frilled lizards will puff out. Different animals will do that. And I think it's possible that it was like trying to look more intimidating, or it was trying to look like a bunch of things, like a herd or a flock or something like that, so
mhm,
that it would, feel safer or be less likely to be attacked. I mean, it's the only
mhm,
thing that's kind of makes sense to me.
mhm.
But
So, I mean, what brought you to wanting to even check your cameras?
well, I always I would get like some like just animals here, like different ones. Showed my
Yeah,
daughter like foxes. We have a lot of those.
yeah,
Deer constantly. We get them to come out to the house sometimes and feed them and things of that nature.
mhm,
So every so often I would, like every week or two, I would go and check the house camera. But I've had success putting out in the wild, putting trail cameras out, and caught some amazing things. This was
mm,
the first time, only time something actually was at the house where it was
mhm,
very bizarre.
mhm,
And it just, everything was there when I would like study this stuff. And people will say, oh, it's pareidolia and stuff like that.
mhm,
Um, but if you could say that, but if it happens one time, but if it happens 30 times in the same
mhm,
video,
mhm,
how is that happening? How does
mhm,
one cat's head become four? How does it, at one point, it turns towards the camera, and as you're watching, it grows and it's not moving. It grows
mhm,
and it gets lumpier and broader and heavier,
mhm,
this type of thing. It becomes more barrel chested, heavier shouldered. And when you
mhm.
see the end, like if you show the screenshot I showed you, like the thumbnail for the at the
Yes,
beginning of the video.
let me grab that. I shall grab that right now for you. Uh, Here it is. Share. And up we go. There we go.
No, the not that one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
There's a screenshot. Like I thought I showed it, sent it to you. Maybe I
you
didn't.
sent me two. Hold on, hold on.
No,
One
it's
came
not
up
one.
as number one and one just came up. So okay.
No,
Right,
I'll
okay.
send it to you now. Then
Well,
actually,
I have two. So there's one with the red eyes in the middle, then there's one I just showed.
yeah, that's not what I thought I sent it. I probably did it on Facebook or something like that. And
If
it
it's
was,
there, I can grab it too, but I don't see any picture there either. So
if you go to the very beginning of the video and do a just show the opening
okay,
shot
okay, one
with the
second. So
title.
what am I showing in in the video? The
I
very
can,
first shot
yeah, the
of
very beginning, just the whole very beginning of the video. I think right
okay,
after the like some legal stuff
right
comes
after
up.
the copyright. Okay,
Yeah, there's a thumbnail and it shows the title, Phantom Cat Revealed.
okay, one second. Let me just move this over. Oh, just before you start talking, Phantom
Right.
Cat revealed. Got it. Okay. So give me one second.
I'm sorry, I should have been better prepared. Send you
No,
more
no,
stuff.
no, no. That's okay. That's okay. I can do this. I can do it. One
Mhm.
second. All right. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Okay. So it comes right after that is the screenshot, I believe. So here we go. Yep, I think we missed it again, didn't we?
There it
There it
is, right
is.
there. Yeah, let's just open that sucker up. Okay, so now if you look, the pose is very similar to the AI art on the left,
Mm-hmm.
but if you go to the center, I wish I could use my cursor, but I can't. But if you go dead center to the image on the right,
Mm-hmm. Right here.
the frame, yeah, now go up a little bit
Right there.
to the left. Hold on. All right, so that's the note. What you almost had to the right a tiny bit. There's a black nose right in
Mm-hmm.
the center. That's not it. That's his armpit. To the left, right there, and then above it, you'll see two eyes.
Yeah.
And that whole large thing in the center there is a head. Okay,
Okay.
that's the head, the top, the brow. Under the nose is a chin, a fairly large chin.
Mm-hmm.
Further down, further down.
Yep.
That's the chin
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
That
Right there.
whole thing is a big head.
Yeah.
Okay, and that you can see the animal turns, and it no longer looks like a cat. It's massive. It has a huge head that's 4 to 5 times the size. It has doubled in mass. It's just not the same animal, but
Mm.
we see it move and change, and it turns towards the camera, and then the screen gets funky. Like it's there, but it's like I don't know why it interfered with the camera, but it's you can see its mass, and then as it calms down,
Mm-hmm.
it's getting larger, and you can see its body like going almost like bubbling, and things are like sinking and merging and like popping out and dropping back in. It's like
Mm-hmm.
trying to choose what I guess what it is. That's what it looks like at least.
What I
Okay.
found interesting in looking at your footage is
Mhm.
like when you see normal critters,
Mhm.
they're not distorted. They look normal. You can tell what they are.
Right.
But this one here,
Yeah. Even when you look at it when it's not lightened, if you look once you know what you're looking at, you can
mm-hmm.
see even when it's dark, all the changes that we see are there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's further back and it's not lit up enough for us to really make them out well. But
Mm-hmm.
once you see them, you're like, okay, this thing is just doing all sorts of like, it's just like shifting, it appears, like actual shape shifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, catching it is not something that people are made privy to very often. Let's put it that way. Um, so okay, okay. Well, I personally like the fact that you are, you majored in this sort of thing, so you have an idea how film should behave.
Hmm.
Carrie's saying, "Did you get the paralyzed fear, like most say when they see a cryptid, Max? You must." Yeah.
No, I,
Carrie, we love
uh,
you.
I, no,
Yeah.
because you have to understand, when I saw it, I just thought, wow, that's a big black cat. You
Yeah.
know, like
Mhm.
I mean, the thing probably weighed about 80 pounds is my guess. Okay. You're like, that's the biggest cat I've ever seen, short of
Mhm.
a zoo
Right.
type thing. And, you just, it's a cat, even though it's very large. I mean, an 80-pound mountain lion is capable of killing a human being with no
Yes.
problem. You want to go over and
Mm.
grab the thing.
Mhm.
But it's not like like when I was in Connecticut and I watched a Sasquatch swimming for like 15 minutes, that was very confusing because I had
Mhm.
no idea. This was 30 years ago or more,
Yeah.
what the heck was I was staring at or anything. But no, it wasn't that. It was just like when I started like working the video frame
Mhm.
by frame by frame. I mean, there's faces in there that are reptilians. Like there's a reptilian face that emerges
Mhm.
from this animal's body, like its whole rib cage becomes that face, and it's looking right at you.
Mhm.
And if that's not a bluff, like don't mess with me. I'm big. I'm dangerous. I'll hurt you. I
Yeah.
don't know what is. See?
Well, yeah, and I mean, a lot of big cats don't even have bigger animals don't even seem to have that issue. It's like, I know I can hurt you. I don't have to pretend.
Mhm.
Um, Adrian says, I had cameras distort me and everything around me when I approached to enter a cop's house, okay, where paranormal activity was present. He never had his cameras do that before, so ghostly interference, perhaps. I believe, I've seen, supernatural and ethereal beings. So I mean, I know they're out there. I know there's a lot of portals out there as well. I know things can, things can cross dimensions. Like sometimes we just seem to have a crossover, bleed through, perhaps.
Mhm.
Alan says, yeah, pareidolia can be made from bushes or clouds or trees. And that's what, you were being approached with, as people are saying, no, this is pareidolia,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I've never seen pareidolia. I've never seen a bush walk across for 11 seconds, and change form, et cetera, and everything like that. So,
Mhm.
you have to take these things with with an open mind. And once you see it frame by frame, then
Mhm.
you're in a better position to say, okay, this is what we're looking at or not.
Mhm.
Um, but,
Yeah.
as to approaching a house and everything, it could be, I mean, some people give off more spiritual energy
Mhm.
or telepathic energy or telekinetic energy than others that can be picked up by certain electronic devices. Just
Mhm.
yesterday, I was walking along and I have these lights that look like fireflies. They're in like stalks, and you
Yeah.
see them,
Yeah.
everything. And it was, they were like they turn on at dusk,
Mhm.
when it gets dark. And it wasn't quite dusk, but I was
Mhm.
walking along slowly, and there were four of them, and they don't have motion sensors built into them. But as I approached them, each
Mhm.
one turned on as boom, 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 as
Mhm.
I'm walking. So is that me? Am I giving off some sort of field? Is there something with me?
Mhm.
Maybe somebody like a spirit, a relative? Is it me doing it? Who knows?
Mhm. Mhm.
But you have these strange things happen a lot. Then you
Mhm.
have to think, okay, maybe there's something to that.
Yes.
Maybe that's why the cat was there, or the shifter, or the phantom cat, whatever you want to call it.
Do, does your area have a lot of Native American folklore or presence? And I'll get to why I'm asking.
um, I know there's a lot of history around here,
Mhm.
certain parks and things of that nature.
Mhm.
The area where my house is, it used to be very marshy in certain areas,
Yeah.
and part of it was a tree farm.
Mhm.
I know there was an incident, though, that my sister-in-law told me about because her family owned a tree farm in this area
Mhm.
many years ago when she was like 17, which would be maybe looking over my shoulder, make sure she's not around if I do mention her age.
Yeah.
But she's a tough customer.
It's a
But
while back. Yeah.
yeah, let's say this is 30, 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave that there.
But yeah, she told me
Yeah.
an incident because we were driving along, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's what happened! That's what happened." We came off of this road near a golf course and an old railroad tracks,
Mhm.
off of a main thoroughfare, and it's near the house, near the development. And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "When I was 17, I was driving to my parents' house, and I saw a ghost walking down the side of the road right there." She was pointing at the spot at night, and she goes, "It scared the hell out of me." And I said, "Well, what happened?" And she said, I was by myself, and he was on the right side of the road, so there was the empty passenger seat next to her. This is the same exact area. And she said he looked like he was from another time. He was wearing like a flannel shirt, suspenders, very old fashioned looking trousers. Looked like he might have been working in a mine or something like that, or yeah,
Mhm.
something to that effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And his shirt was rolled up. It was January at night.
Mhm.
So she right away noticed because he looked a little, and she said he was sort of translucent looking. When she stared at him, she could kind of see through him a little bit. And so
Mhm.
she slowed down, and he was right next to the window. And then she said, all of a sudden he looked at me, and he leaned in like this, and his eyes were completely black, no whites at all. And she went like, like this and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she went, and she sped up, and then she
Mhm.
looked back, and he was gone. But he kind of leaned like, oh, like that, all black in the eyes, scared. She never forgot it.
I
and it was
guess
quite,
not.
yeah, as a
That's not.
mile and a half from my house or something like that. Not even a mile. I don't know.
That's
It's
too
very,
close for comfort. That's really
yeah.
too close for comfort. Well, the reason I was asking because there's a Cherokee tradition called, and it's called a wampus cat, and it's often depicted as a really large cat. But
Mhm,
what's weird about it, it's got like 6 legs and
mhm,
yellow eyes,
mhm.
right? And it goes throughout the Cherokee and other like southeastern tribal mythologies, and it's described as being able to have the ability to shapeshift or become invisible.
And it's called a wampus cat,
It's called a wampus cat,
MPUS.
WAMPUS
And I've
cat.
heard of this before, actually. And it's interesting that that's mentioned because
Yeah.
first of the eyes were yellowish.
Mm-hmm.
That I could tell you. But the thing of having multiple legs,
Mm-hmm.
you see in the video as you go through it. At one point, I said it has 3 or 4, maybe 5 heads. At one
Mm-hmm.
point, and there are things that look like. I mean, does it have extra legs? It could have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So if it was a shifter and it was changing like how many limbs it had, or what if it was going
Mm-hmm.
to change form, that would make sense actually. In order
Mm-hmm.
for it to do that, excuse me, it could create that impression.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
so.
I think it's interesting. I ended up finding a story
Mm,
on Reddit, and basically there was a guy looking for information on a large, slender cat-like cryptid with a
mm,
human face. So it shows you some kind of it's a whole shape shifting thing as well, right? And this was from Michigan, northwest of Flint, just south of Saginaw, and it happened in around 76 to 79. And this feline was seen crossing the street, and it gets really strange because it turned its head, looked at his parents, I guess, who were horrified to see it actually had a human face,
mhm,
right? And so this went on. They had. It's almost like this happened. This was Halloween or Hallows Eve or Hallows Eve. But the thing is that it had happened for a few years. So he's been looking for people. Was there anybody else? Or, and he was trying to look for any sort of Native American mythology or something just to try to figure out, what could this be?
mhm.
And again, we're talking the US, and we're talking like how many of these things go, way back, because there are animals all over the world that can shapeshift.
The one person I spoke to about this was talking about these um, phantom cats,
Yeah.
and there were shifters, and said that they usually choose forms like um, a large cat,
Yeah.
a hyena, or hyena-like animal, which is what we sort of end up with, as you see towards the end.
Hmm.
Hyenas are very large in the forelimbs, the shoulders, and
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
Its head changes from like more like leonine or hyena like instead of a
Hmm.
cat's face. See,
Hmm.
but he said that it could be that a lion, a human giant. I'm
Hmm.
like, well, I don't know about a human giant. That seems like a bit of a stretch,
It's not
but
that they didn't exist.
it's true. But
Yeah.
true, and if it could do some of these faces that you see, then I guess it could certainly make a human face, like you were mentioning, or
Yeah.
something. That would have
Yeah.
freaked me out to no end. Your cat
Well,
look at me like
yeah. But I
like
mean,
my grandfather,
skinwalker
like
types
yeah.
tend to be, there was one also. It was believed to be getting into some kind of folklore, being that these sort of cats would shapeshift, and they were considered to be witches,
Hmm.
which would also give you, I mean, it's got that skinwalker feel to it as well. Okay, we're gonna get a couple questions,
And the black cat aspect,
comments.
by the way, remember, witches are always supposed to have black cats.
The black cats, yeah.
Mm.
Black panthers, a lot of big panther sightings, even out this neck of the woods. In fact, we up here we have the Ministry of Natural Resources, and it's their job to, track wildlife and things like that. And they've been tracking these things, and they've found evidence of them.
Well, the cat has a very panther-like body shape in the beginning.
Yeah,
Like I said, at first I thought it was a mountain lion. I did a blog post and I studied the anatomy, and it
yeah,
very much looked like a mountain lion. But
yeah,
then when you look further, it's definitely not, or at least not
yeah.
normal. when it wants to, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, for sure. But it gives you a good comparison. Adrian says, what kind of energies does a shapeshifter emit? Any idea?
I don't know, but
E-
I can say though, at one point, there's about maybe 10 or 20 seconds of the footage
mhm,
where the animal's walking and then it turns towards the camera and it's just morphing left and right. And you guys will see it. Just watch the video, full screen it, take
mhm,
your time. You get to a certain parts, go back and forth. You're
mhm,
going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, I do a lot of it for you, but
mhm.
at one
Yeah.
point it turns towards the camera and it must have emitted something because the camera had 300 videos from that camera and it's never done this before, but it
Mhm.
turns and then all of a sudden it becomes so pixelated. It's like, you know what fogging is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it fogs the camera
Mhm,
itself.
mhm,
See, but then it either maybe it thought the camera turned off, maybe it was a limited thing. I don't know, you know.
mhm.
But at that
Yeah.
point, eventually the camera runs out. It's only a 30-second clip. See,
Yeah, but I mean, but realistically, any of your clips before and after, were they doing the same thing, like in
no,
sequence? Nothing, right? So it's
never.
just this guy.
Yeah, and it was very annoying because I mean, there's so much stuff there. I mean, so many.
Mm.
I mean, I have 110 frames, like
Yeah,
90 frames of it is gold. You
yeah,
see this thing, boop, it looks up, turns, comes up, shark, 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 goblin, goblin, and shark.
yeah, yeah,
Shark
yeah.
goes away, goblin moves in, something larger with like, luminescent. And the craziest part is there are several instances in this where the animal's eyes are like circles and hemispheres of crystal. That's what they
Mhm,
seem to be. They're not
mhm,
flat, they're globes or like hemispheres.
mhm,
And you can see things moving behind them, like
mhm,
its body, which suggests that it may be able to layer itself. And then as it's moving, it's choosing what it's going to keep. And it passes that stuff, which is maybe a bluff or maybe a part that it's going to reabsorb. But it's like that's a mask, and I'm walking behind the mask.
mhm,
And then this goes away, and there I am. You
mhm.
literally, and I have close-ups and everything, see like I
Yeah.
said, a hemisphere of crystal, and
Mm.
it's behind it. You can see the dark shape moving. That's not pareidolia. That's not a bush, a talking tree,
I
right?
think if you were having problems with your camera,
Hmm.
it would have been in the frames before this one. It would have been in all your other frames, right, with other
Right.
things coming into the space, and it would have been there after these specific row of images when this thing leaves sight. Then let's say your next frame, something comes in, a squirrel comes in, like I think you would have had the same issue
Hmm.
with like everything.
Right. Yeah, it's never happened. I mean, I've had
Yeah. Okay.
house cats, I've had
Yeah.
raccoons, I've had this portly old opossum who I'm very fond of. He's like a
I
little,
love possums.
he's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
A little swagger.
groundhogs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like you see all these different animals. I mean, like so many different things.
Yeah.
Bats. I've had bats come down, and
Yeah.
then buzz the camera and stuff like that. All these crazy things. But it's never had a problem like that, and it doesn't have a problem. It's not the rest of the footage. It's
Yeah.
just the animal, and then it gets
Yeah.
to a certain point, and then it's like, you know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, Patsy says, what area did you see this again?
it's Bucks County, Pennsylvania. It was literally right behind my house.
Yeah, wonderful. Adrian says, with my own eyes in daylight, I saw this pig-like creature in a former backyard of hers. Its legs were stiff peg legs. It ambled right to left across the grass before disappearing.
Mhm.
A creature from the abyss, perhaps. Perhaps. Let me go on as we keep going. Um, yeah, so I mean, as you go forward, we have, hold on here. Wayne says sometimes unnatural things have very different energies. These energies can certainly create distortions and pixelations within a digital device. Absolutely seen it happen many times on investigations, many, many times. So yeah, so you've never had, I mean, because this was back 2021. Has this ever returned? Have you had any other
No, no,
distortions like that? Wow.
no. I've had one recent video where it looks like a snowstorm
Yeah.
in July,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking it's like a swarm of insects or something like that. I'll have to look it over and what. I mean, it's definitely something swirling around, but nothing like that. One thing that I speak to like people that are experts in the field when it comes to things,
Yeah.
and a peer of mine had suggested, and I concur with this, that what the thought is that what's happening here is we're dealing with computerized cameras.
Hmm.
The camera has a computer in it, and this computer is able to predict what is going to happen with movement. So, for
Hmm.
example, if I'm throwing a baseball and the ball is in my hand and I go like this and
Hmm.
I turn it like this computer obviously is going to predict that motion and the movement of my arm and the shape of my arm, and it's going to know what's going to happen there.
Hmm.
See? So what happens is a lot of times there's just weird lag. Like when you first see that shark head, it's with the cat, then it slides back a little bit, and then
Hmm.
and then it comes back up to catch up with the cat again. See, and it happens multiple times with this. And the theory is, or the belief is that what's going on is the camera is not expecting the cat to grow a head out of its hip.
Hmm.
You see, it's supposed to have its sleek body and then its hip, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden, boom, there's a head that
Hmm.
looks like a reptilian of some kind.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so when it happens, the camera gets confused and it's trying to juggle, like, oh, there's a second, entity, a second being or object in there. And then
Hmm.
it realizes, wait, it's not. And then it puts it back together.
Hmm.
See, and this is indicative of what we're looking at here. We see something unique that a digital computerized camera is not expecting to have to deal with, and it's having a hard time doing that.
Hmm.
See? Like we have set bodies, we have set anatomy.
Hmm.
We don't have, like, there's a scene in this like bunch of frames where all of a sudden its shoulder looks like it turns into an upside down octopus
Hmm.
with suckers and everything, and it's like
Hmm.
bleh, like that. If I'm sitting here and all of a sudden an upside down octopus thing comes out of my shoulder,
Hmm.
everybody's watching me like, whoa, dude, like you better go to a doctor
Yeah.
and get that checked out.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
camera like that, a computerized camera is going to react differently to that, and it's going to be
Hmm.
like, okay, what am I making of this, and how am I going to, adjust to it? But if the object's moving laterally,
Hmm.
see, then the computer can get confused.
Hmm.
But we're lucky in that the animal is moving slowly and methodically. It's doing a
Hmm.
cat walk. So
Hmm.
as it does that, we're able to see the camera. The computer is able to realize this is the same animal, parts of
Hmm.
it, and puts it back together. See?
Hmm. It's much like, you see investigations being done, paranormal investigations, and especially with the older cameras, even like, focusing in and out,
Mm,
and there's nothing in the room, but there's an energy. Something is coming in front of the camera enough for the camera lens to kind of is trying to focus in on something specific,
mm,
but there's nothing there for it to grab onto. So it'll get a bit distorted, a bit blurry. It'll keep going in and out. And you can hear it zooming in and out. It sounds like maybe that sort of thing. Like it's just trying to focus in on one thing, and then something comes up and it's trying to focus in.
mm.
I still lean to the fact, that you've never had the problem before and you've never had the problem since. So
Yeah,
there's some kind of an energy. I'm just going to play devil's advocate.
sure,
Okay.
of
Let's
course.
say we have a cat
Mm,
coming through. It doesn't happen with any other critters that come through, but it's happening with this cat.
right.
And all of a sudden there's all of these issues. What kind of energy is the animal emitting? Even if we're just talking energy, you know,
Right.
what kind of energy is it emitting that could create all of this distortion
Mm.
with the cameras? I mean, because it's not right on top of your camera. It's a distance from
It's
the house.
about 15 feet away.
Okay, but still, it's not right on top of it.
No,
At 15 feet away, it should be able to catch a nice, clear
right.
image.
Yeah, and it's near IR footage. But I don't know if
Mm.
this animal gives off something or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One person who is a cryptozoologist
Mhm.
said that certain beings are able to mess a camera up,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
your
Mhm.
follower, one of your your audience, an audience member. So I
Okay.
said approaching I'm used to dealing with writing terms, not video
Right.
stuff these days. But
Okay. Yeah.
their footage of them got messed up as they approached a police officer's house.
Yes.
So
Yes. That's right.
said certain entities are
Adrian.
able
Yeah.
to generate like a burst of energy, which can
Yeah.
screw up a camera and prevent it from actually filming them.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I
Mm-hmm.
find it interesting that the animal turned towards the camera, and as it did, that's when it gets like this.
Mm-hmm.
See? And we can see it's still there. We
Mm-hmm.
can even see the fact that it's moving. We can see the shape of its body, even though it's a pixelated outline. But then it calms down or settles down, and then
Mm-hmm.
it starts becoming more detailed and more detailed. Like I said, you see a lot of things like face absorb, face absorb, eyes absorb. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like like it can't seem to make up its mind.
Well, I like that you basically say phantom cat. I
Mhm.
mean, could it be that it's this phantom ghostly cat? I mean, it would certainly emit the type of energy, and it certainly would have the capabilities of just sort of putting itself into any. I've seen spirit photographs
Mhm.
like that have been sent to me, where you're kind of looking at it and it looks like it's just, got two faces, and it is because of the way it's moving. In the clips, people taking series of clips and such. I mean,
Mhm.
you can't really rule it all out. I mean, we live in a very mysterious world, that things, like I said, when you're getting into bleed-throughs, you're getting into portals, you're getting into some areas just have a lot more energy than others. So it's so easy for things to manifest and behave in different ways.
Well, the fact that there's something in the area, Native American lore, like you said, called a wampus cat,
Yeah.
that it sounds like the multiple legs and things like that. It'd be very easy if you saw an animal like that moving and its body was changing
Hmm.
as it was moving.
Yeah.
It could easily give you that impression that it had multiple legs.
Hmm.
It could be doing that to look like it was two of the same cat. Maybe
Hmm.
it'd be feel safety in numbers type thing.
Yeah.
See?
Well,
So,
the fact that there's a Native American tradition about it,
mhm,
that shape shift and 6 legs and all these yellow eyes, and this is like very much a part of their oral history, or tribal mythologies, not just to the Cherokee but other southeastern tribals, myths as well.
yeah, I mean the just a name, like they're called ABCs a lot when I was researching it, like alien big cats.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
is this if this is
yeah.
um, what it seems to be? Is it native to here,
Hmm.
North America? I mean, I know they
Yeah.
have tons of sightings in British big cats,
Yes.
they're called.
Yes.
Um, so that seems to be a common spot over there. Here, I've seen in the news multiple times where in my area, where some families in one of the big parks, I don't know if it was Tyler Park or something like that, but they
Hmm.
spotted a very large black cat in the distance. The police were
Yeah.
called. They got some footage of it from a cell phone from far off, and then it disappeared.
Hmm.
I don't mean it
Hmm.
just went, poof, but it just they lost it or whatever. But
Hmm.
maybe it's possible that this is an unknown species of animal inherent here, and it just has developed an ability to change shape and form, like
Hmm.
like cephalopods do. Octopuses can change form
Yeah.
at will. They can look like a rock. They can look like seaweed. They can
Hmm.
look like a
Hmm.
lionfish. They can look like just about anything.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it seems inherently possible that something like that could do that. But where would it get the ideas to look like, like a gray's face?
Hmm.
There's literally a gray's face on its
Hmm.
like right, like shoulder and forelimb at one point,
Hmm.
or reptilian face, which was
Hmm.
much larger, or a lot of faces there. I have no idea what they are,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
it must have some knowledge if it
Mm.
is what it seems to be.
There's definitely a lot of anomalies, throughout. I mean, the world, but in North America. I mean, in our area, I filmed at a location where it was a huge stable, a huge stable farm, and they had a very gifted horse. This
Mhm.
thing would respond to you. If you spoke to it, it would nod up and down or like this, or just brilliant, this thing. But the place is really crazy haunted, so anything could be. But what was interesting to me is the owner told us a story, because one of the stalls had these huge claw marks in it. I mean, big claw marks. And he said there was a large black cat, like panther size, that came into the area, and it was trying to get to a foal. And one of the mares sacrificed herself to save the foal. So this thing got the mare,
She was
and
killed.
she was killed.
Was she
And
taken?
um, I don't recall if he said she was taken or not, but the fact is, after that happened, is when
Mhm,
these big black claw, the big not black, the big claw marks were found in
mhm,
one of the empty stalls, and it's like he goes, had something gone in there physically,
mhm.
the horses would all have reacted. Like
Right.
it would have been like complete anarchy within these stables.
Mhm,
But then they saw this and they were just like luckily, the animals were not in this. This was like the big training arena. They have stables there for the horses, and then they have stables where their horses are at all the time. She wasn't taken. Apparently, she was just slaughtered and partially eaten on site. Okay, thanks, Wayne. So, with that being said, like I said, there's the Ministry of Natural Resources in Canada.
mhm.
They track these things, and they'll attribute them to like, oh, escaped, But at the end of the day, zoning does not allow for you just to have pet black panthers, and they're not native
Right.
to southern Ontario, Canada,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, where do the claws come in from? How did the thing get in without setting off all of these horses?
Well, I videotaped, gosh, about maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. I
Hmm.
had put out a trail camera, like I said, in different places, and on my like supernaturalsurvivor.com site, there
Hmm.
is footage there I got of a large, what appears to be reptilian like being, but this being was concealed, like cloaked.
Oh yeah.
And you can see, with the infrared, there are
Hmm.
parts of it. The cloak sort of acts like a, how can I say this? It's like it's blocking it, but every so often, like it's like a swirling thing of energy, like
Hmm.
a snowstorm, but there's no snow, and it was like whoosh, like this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then every once in a while something would break through this interference, and you would see a
Hmm.
face, a skull. It was like it was layered, like you were seeing through it at certain points and stuff. And at certain
Hmm.
points, you can tell it appears to be like an 8 foot tall,
Hmm.
like reptilian being of some kind, which
Yeah.
was crazy. So I mean,
Yeah.
something like that, if it was cloaked or traveling through a portal or something like that, I guess that would be possible.
Yeah. Well,
Bears, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, bears will mark their territory.
Hmm.
They will do that to warn other predators, even other bears away, and that
Hmm.
shows you how tall they are because they can reach up a certain height, like the extinct short-faced bear,
Hmm.
Arctotis
Hmm.
simus, I think it is.
Hmm.
Um, there's a cave, I think it's here in North America, where the claw marks are 15 feet up, which is
Hmm.
an enormous animal. It must be at least 12 feet tall standing up.
Yeah.
And you see something like that, and you're like, okay, that's a pretty big animal, and I don't want to be here. So
Yeah.
it may have done that to terrify the other horses. It may have done that to tell people a message. I doubt very much it was a bear that would, really have to break its way in, etc. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we have a
Mm-hmm.
cat that loves to stretch and things, stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's a terrible story. I mean, the poor animal.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's yeah. There's all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Honestly, I know if you get into just because you showed the comparison with the werewolf, they have were jaguars, were tigers,
Mm-hmm.
were foxes. I mean, they were bears. Like they have these things,
We're
and
bears.
these
They're bears.
yeah, were right.
Remember that in Young Frankenstein?
Yeah,
Werewolf.
werewolf,
Their wolf. Like that.
werewolf. That's right.
That was classic. Marty Feldman.
Yep, I love that show. That was a great film. It's one of those cult classics.
Mhm.
Just never
It
goes away.
is.
But these things were attributed to, shamans and witches
Mhm.
because of shape-shifting powers. They were able to, I mean, like skinwalkers. They can go between human form, animal form, within, the whole spirit realm, right? Like it's these things. There are things out there that exist, and sometimes, like I said, they may be dimensional, interdimensional, multidimensional. Like, I mean, who knows? But the fact is I don't ever like to discount anything. I like to have a pretty open mind about
Hmm.
everything, because I know I've seen things that cannot easily be explained away. Do I expect everybody to go with that? No, I don't. I don't expect, everybody to go with that. It was my experience. But
Well,
if you
the
can't explain it away, then
right.
look at the other options.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't explain this away. At first, I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, that's weird. Just the
Hmm.
first frame or two. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's also weird. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's weird again. And then as you keep going, and every single frame is these things coming in and out. And it's not like they're a flash and they're gone. They're there
Hmm.
and then they're absorbed. And then something else takes its place and it's absorbed. You can
Hmm.
literally see it happening. At least it appears to happen.
Hmm.
See?
Hmm.
And so it's like the more I look through this footage, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. And then my videographer, who was doing all the editing and stuff like that, she was like, there's just something wrong with this cat. At first she thought it was like sick, and then she said, that there's other beings. She was calling them in the picture. I don't think it's by itself.
Hmm.
But if it isn't by itself, where are they going? Does it have a portal attached to its body, and these things are peeking through the portal? I mean, think about it. That's also possible, I
Well, we
suppose.
are all portals for sure.
That's true.
Technically, we're energy. We're in a physical form, but we're all energy. I think, I mean, there's a belief that Bigfoot comes through portals. I mean, the quantum side of everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, when it got to the point it turned and it got, I mean, I do a certain point, since the animal's walking and then it turns, it hasn't really traveled back or forth, you see? And I do a before where you see it as a cat, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
on this side. And then as it's turned, and it looks more like a mixture between a lion and a hyena facing the
Hmm.
house and me,
Hmm.
effectively. And you can see it's at least double the size, and its head is at least 4 times as big.
Hmm.
And that's not, like it's just a fact. You can look at it yourself, and you will, and you'll see. And you
Hmm.
can't explain it away, you
Hmm.
know. But when
Hmm.
I watched like that Bigfoot situation, like I said, I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't know if we want to, veer off into something like that.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
it's your show.
But, I used to do one of these shows. It got so hectic because as a writer, and then also I do research and I do paleontology on the
Yeah,
side, and then every week a guest, a guest, a guest, and this, all this stuff. You're like, ugh,
I do
and
3 a week of my own, not counting being the guest on others. I'll have ended up with 5 or 6 shows just this week.
how you
I
handle it,
hear you.
yeah, because I mean, as a writer, you've got to put in 3 hours a day
Hmm.
minimum.
Yeah.
Serious hardcore creativity and editing and
Yes.
stuff. And then I'm a dad. I mean, you're doing all
Yeah,
sorts of stuff. All those
for
fish.
sure.
I haven't been fishing, and I mean, I'm going to die of old age before I get a good fishing trip on. But
Yeah.
it's true. But the the book, the incident with the Bigfoot is in Monsters and Marine Mysteries, along with a lot of other stuff. I
Hmm.
mean, it was such a great book to put together. I got
Hmm.
evidence of real mega sharks. I mean, hardcore evidence.
Hmm.
Photos of giant bites, measurements, all sorts of stuff like that. There's a
That's
photo in there of
crazy.
a whale shark, 40 feet long, and a guy swimming right next to it, and it has a bite scar on it that is 5 feet across.
That's insane.
And I'm talking a bite scar with two shred marks.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's saying something that grew over time, like it started off small and the whale shark was this big and then it grew 10 times the size. It doesn't work like that. For everybody
Yeah.
who thinks that, whale sharks are like other elasmobranches, branches, like manta rays, incredibly regenerative. They're like the Wolverine of
Hmm.
the animal kingdom, but I mean the superhero.
Yeah.
And you see a whale shark with a huge bite from a great white that's like all jagged flesh and stuff. And then you see it 16 months later and it's gone. It's just, you can't even tell. So these
Yeah.
bites don't hold their shape and tooth marks and then grow, grow, grow naturally, like you're putting it on a copy machine and hitting it large and large and large. It doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. But the
Yeah.
Bigfoot thing, At the time, I didn't do anything about it because I didn't know anything about Bigfoot except having seen the Patterson Gimlin footage.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yes.
You know, this is a long time ago. And me and my brothers, we went out. There was three of us, whose names will not be mentioned. We'll call them Mo and Larry. And since I put on some weight, I'll be Curly. Okay. And we got up. We used to have a house on Candlewood Lake in Connecticut. House was our families for a very long time. Go up there in the summer to fish. And there's a lake attached to a Candlewood called Squan's Pond, which is a big, beautiful lake, couple miles long. And those two lakes connect by a little narrows we'll call it, with a causeway, a little road that crosses it. And this road was made by building up rock piled up, like big pieces of gravel and stuff like that. If that was a cross section. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a big steel reinforced concrete pipe, we'll call it, that's probably 6 feet in diameter, that runs between the two lakes through the causeway, so the water can flow from one lake to the other in case of flood, for animals to be able to go back and forth, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we got there like 5 in the morning or something like that. It was still pitch black out. And we figured we're going to get here and we're going to fish and we're going to get that bite with our live minnows and we're going to slaughter those bass and get some great pictures and all this stuff. Okay. Yeah. So we got there and we're sitting there and it had rained its butt off the night before. And the water was the color of tea without milk in it, like that dark, the tannin in it and stuff. And there was no visibility and we were having no luck. And so we were there for about, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was. And I'm sitting on an upside down 5-gallon bucket at this point. My brothers are bored. Like, you know what? We're going to cross the causeway, the road, and then go to the other side. We're going to fish the Candlewood side. So I'm on the Squan side. Okay, Squan's Pond, Candlewood Lake, connected. And so I'm sitting there on my bucket, and they're on the other side. I'm like, go. I'm figuring the fish will turn on. I'll be by myself, no competition. I'll catch all the fish and ha, ha, ha.
Right.
Sibling rivalry. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, maybe, 100 feet out, maybe even a little more, I see this thing pop up, like, boop, like this in the water. And then it goes under. And I'm like, and I ignored it. And it came up again, a little bit closer, boop, and it went under. It was dark. It was sort of rounded, and pretty soon I realized it was like a reddish brown color. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, after a while, it started to interest me. And I wasn't making any noise. The lake was pin drop quiet. There was a mist forming off of it and stuff, and nobody, no boats, no fishermen, nobody. I think the fishermen were smart. They knew with the water clarity from all the rain, it would suck. So they weren't, like ideal circumstance for something to show up, but not ideal for fishing.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this thing and I'm like, is that a muskrat? Because it was kind of that color, I'm like, and it's still like maybe 100 feet away. I'm like, no, that's too big. I'm like, it's a beaver. Beavers have the rounded butt, back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it looked like, the rear hindquarters of a beaver, except it wasn't a beaver, as I soon found out. And so I'm like, it's not a beaver. I'm like, what am I looking at here? And then I started staring, and I carefully stood up because I don't want to spook whatever it was. And then I could see it was a head. It would pop up. And then it would be up for a little while, and it would go back down. So whatever it was going underwater, and it was definitely mammalian because you could see the fur on the head, hair, and it would be underwater for maybe a couple minutes at a shot. So it was very adept at holding its breath, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But as I stood up, I could see behind it, and I could see like something trailing away, which was a body, and I could see there were legs. See, and I was like, "Is this a deer?" I'm like, no, because you see the deer, they do like the Loch Ness Monster thing when they're, like swimming, like their head and neck is up, that type of thing. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, it's an Irish setter. That's what I tried to convince myself of. It had that color hair, that reddish brown hair. Okay. And it looked like, it might have been the size and the stuff flowing away from it. But then I realized that these were not, I was seeing legs, foreshortened away from it together. And when it would move, the legs were together like this, like when kids wear like a mermaid suit with the that type of thing. And so if anybody ever gets good footage of a Bigfoot swimming, you're going to see that they swim with their legs together like this, and you'll be like, oh my god, like lunatic Max Hawthorne, on
he was right.
Yeah, like son of a gun.
Gotta give it to him.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
and it went like this, and it would go underwater. And
Mm.
I was like, but I still had no idea what it was. See, because the Bigfoot, anything like that was way out
Yeah.
of my mind.
Mm.
And so what happens is, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hydration is very important.
It is.
They say I have a drinking problem. I have no problem drinking. Water, I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Or an airplane, I have a drinking problem. He pour it in his eye or something like that.
Yeah.
But so like this is an ongoing thing, and the animal is getting closer and closer. I mean, its closest it was maybe 75 feet away on a guess, something like
Mhm.
that. Maybe a smidgen less. I really, if I went there, I could like take a boat out and get an exact estimate. But these are numbers I'm just putting out there.
Yeah.
And it turns out that, well, I'll finish the whole what happened and tell you
Yeah.
what was discovered afterwards. Is that so it's getting closer and closer, and I'm like, I have no idea what this thing is. I gotta know now. So I start, it would, like I said, it would stay underwater for a few minutes at a time. So I start backing up the hill, and my goal is to get high enough up that I can stare down at it, see, and I can see the whole animal as it's at the surface. So even though the water is dark, it's right there. I'll be able to tell what it is. So that was
Mhm.
my goal, which
Yeah.
would be a smart thing. And if you're asking, there were no cell phones back then. I was like 28, 29 years old, 32 years ago. I think we had a Polaroid camera, which, Mo and Larry had in their bucket.
Those are the best, though.
Yeah.
Can't
Well, I
fudge
mean,
them. Can't
I
fudge
would have
them.
taken a picture of it if I had the camera,
Yeah.
I guess, but I was so fascinated. I was just kind of staring,
Yeah.
And so I start backing up the hill, and this hill is made out of gravel and chunks of rock.
Yeah.
And of course, you slip and some rocks tumbled or whatever and stuff. And the thing, it must have been coming closer, and it changed direction, because all of a sudden it was a loud splash, and it must have possibly been looking at me, or possibly, but I think it was headed for that big pipe between the two lakes. See, because it had changed direction, but it
Mhm.
must have realized I was there, and it freaked out. And this
Yeah.
movement and the splash caused my head to whip this way.
Yeah.
Max said he's going to have me on his
His back wall.
wall. Oh, it's a trophy. I don't
Oh,
know,
boy.
Mark. We're gonna have to measure you. Might have to throw you back, dude. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Let's see what we got here. Hold on. All right, I got a tape measure. Let me just.
There we go.
But so this is splash, and I turn. My head whips to the side just in time to see this thing's shoulder, this arm, upper arm, forearm, cut off here, breaks the
Mm.
surface of the water, and so you see all this. Okay, now I don't really work out anymore. I got some pretty diesel arms, but
Yeah.
this thing's arms were like a bodybuilder's. I mean, they were like,
Mm-hmm.
and thick, like I'm talking like an Irish setter's hair,
Right.
or soaked wet. It's in the water, and everything lifts up, all this water streaming, and it goes under, and poof, it's now it's underwater,
Mhm.
and it starts heading not towards me, but I'm like down, like maybe the edge where you have to picture, like let's say if you're looking down, like where I am, there's like land here, and I'm
Mhm.
like there, and there's this narrow causeway. It tapers, narrows between, and it goes like that. And the road goes over that where it's narrow, and under
Mhm.
that is that pipe, that 6-foot wide pipe. So this thing is swimming right for that, and I'm standing right at the edge of the shore now at this point, because I'd step forward,
Mm.
and you can see it's sort of like a silhouette, very
Yeah.
vague silhouette,
Yeah.
swimming by underwater. And I got a little nervous because it was a lot bigger than I thought. Like as big as me, maybe bigger. It was hard to tell underwater. You
Yeah.
get the water refraction. And I remember the water went like this, kind of like oh, a little, as it bolted past. It was a very fast swimmer, incredibly fast. It went like a. So now I run up to the top of the hill, almost get clipped by a car, cross over to my brothers. I'm like, guys, and I was calling it the hairy red thing. Okay. Well, I said, guys, because I didn't know anything about any stuff. I'm like, there's a hairy red thing, a big hairy red thing. I said, it's going to come through right now. Look. But it was so fast. By the time I went up, like, holy crap, excuse my language. Okay. Am I allowed to say that?
That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're good.
Okay. Then,
Yeah.
look, without getting killed, come back down, stumble down the rocks, and tell them this thing had already gone through. But we're all standing there. I'm like, it's going to right now. And we're standing there, and they're like, they sort of call me names. I'm not going to use them like, they're expletives like you.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 50 or 100 feet off to the side is the edge of the lake over there. And there's all this lily pads, which would be great bass fishing territory that come out
Yes.
like maybe 10 feet from the shore. Thick
Mm,
lily pads. It
mm.
was in there. And you could see like the lily pads were like this. And then I was like, you'd think it was a fish, but then it traveled on again, this. And I think it was using the lily pads to surface for air to conceal
Yes.
itself and work its way around the bend. And then, of course, it was gone.
Well, be easy to hide that way.
Yeah. But
Yes.
that's what happened. See?
Yeah.
And so all that, I mean, I followed up, investigated everything. I did research. There was even a thing I found from an old like listing online of a paper from maybe 100 years before or something, and it said like fishermen see hairy wild child in a Connecticut lake. You know,
Crazy. Yeah.
yeah. And I asked the person who knows a lot about Bigfoot, a show host, and she said,
Mhm.
well, that's because back then nobody knew what the word Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they used to call them hairy wild child or hairy wild man,
Yeah.
or hairy wild ape or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
That was how they referred to them. But yeah,
Yes.
but that was my Bigfoot experience. You know,
Yes. That's crazy though. But I
yeah,
mean, there people sometimes they have no idea. These things are everywhere and they're just sometimes they just stalk you and you have no idea. You don't
yeah,
know. You just get the feeling it alone. I have a question or comment for you.
sure.
Going back into the last bit. I wonder if this collection of morphing creatures was a cluster of demons on the prowl, like Legion.
Mm, Legion.
Legion.
There's somebody you wouldn't want to meet.
No,
Um,
no.
the
Or is it the cat?
Yeah, I
You know.
don't think it would be of demonic
Yeah.
influence because there were things there that look like known extraterrestrial sightings.
Yeah.
You watch this video, it's like you're seeing several different cryptids at the
Yeah.
same time. There are a
Yeah.
couple of images that look um, like a wolf man type face. There is
Yeah.
one couple of frames that looks like a very large ape, like a Bigfoot
Yeah.
face. There
Yeah.
is definitely a gray face at one point. There is a reptilian face. All these seem like extraterrestrial type, cryptid type sightings that are all known
Mhm.
that aren't
Mhm.
demonic in
Mhm.
origin, I guess you'd say, or something like that, or
This
in folklore.
dimensional sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I had to guess, like I said, I mean, I'm going by what I see. If
Mhm.
I had footage like this of that Bigfoot swimming, everybody'd be like, yeah, yeah. But you watch the video and you
Mhm.
judge for yourself. I mean, this
Yeah.
doesn't hurt you to go on and watch it and see it. It's not like it's not a pay-per-view type thing. But
Mhm.
all these faces are there, and it's almost like you get like a dozen extraterrestrials at one time in the
Mhm.
same video.
Mhm.
Except it appears that this animal is imitating them. And I
Mhm.
think it's just doing it because number one, it knows what they look like,
Mhm.
which sort of suggests that maybe it is of an extraterrestrial origin, possibly, or could
Mhm.
interact. I mean, dimensionally, interdimensionally, portal wise, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Um, but it must see them. It must know what they look like in order to be able to replicate, right?
Yes. And also, there's a strong belief that, different races of, whether they're extraterrestrial, whether they're, terrestrial,
Mhm,
there's a big belief, like the Hopi, for example, that they're already here.
mhm,
So we're getting into the indigenous lore again, but there's a belief that they could project out how they want us to see them. So
mhm,
then it kind of lends to, are we really witnessing a shape shifting, or are we witnessing what their what they're projecting out to us, which signifies a really intense, strong energy and uh, you know, abilities to be able to telepathically, you know, put out what they want us to see.
mhm. Well,
Not the theory.
yeah. I mean, the poor thing must have been not expecting me. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, I'm very
yeah.
intimidating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But maybe it was worried, like I mean, there are those of us who research or do, I dabble, let's call it, because
Yeah.
I'm all over the place with, novelist and songwriter and doing paleontology and now doing research on
Mhm.
like I guess you'd call it like cryptozoology or paranormal stuff. I
Yes.
mean, these things just keep falling into my lap and what, but um, I uh, I think that the the poor thing was frightened. And there are probably people out there, hunters, that shoot at these animals, which are probably extremely rare. It's not like
Mm,
it's one thing to be trying to get something on video, which,
right.
if we're dealing with intelligent beings, they must value their privacy and have a healthy fear
Oh,
of
for
people.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. For
I mean, how
sure.
many times have you heard stories about a Bigfoot and a hunter just shoots them? You know?
Not often, even though
Well,
there's some clips out there that will have you believe it's happened. I don't know.
I
I
mean, I've
don't
heard
know.
stories. Yeah, I read one story where a guy supposedly he was a hunter, a guide, and he took a guy hunting, and there was a Bigfoot, and he shot it, and
Hmm.
the alpha male came out and grabbed his client and ripped him to pieces. That's what I read online.
Hmm.
So, but
Hmm. Hmm.
so I
But
mean,
how
whether
many
it's true,
stories do you hear, Max, where people are chasing Bigfoot and all of a sudden the footsteps stop?
a
And
lot,
you right, and you're looking around, you're looking in the trees. Sometimes you're in a clearing. There are no trees, but they're just gone. Now, again, being devil's advocate, I'm sure have one heck of a leap,
mhm,
if they wanted to hide.
right,
But with that being said,
mhm,
how many times do you see they just stop dead?
right. Well, I mean, it's two possibilities then. The first possibility
Hmm.
is, well, there's three. He got in a pickup truck, and he'd like hauled ASS out of there. Okay, I'm pretty sure that one's not an option.
Right.
Um, but
Yeah.
can you imagine
Hmm.
Bigfoot takes
Yeah.
off in an F-350, which you would need? But either it's leaping somewhere where there's not, it's very rocky, and
Hmm.
it's not leaving tracks. It must know its territory, and it
Hmm.
knows where and how, and that it will be tracked, etc. Or it could
Hmm.
be like you said, it could be
Hmm.
something where portals are involved, some sort of cloaking, something like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Not
But
not
uh,
uncommon at all
yeah,
on either case.
yeah. But yeah. So it's like, the I think, like, if we're going to reach a point where beings are going to start communicating with us, it has to be happen in such a way where we're not like, oh, I'm going to, like, shoot this thing and bring home a body, you know,
Why do you think humans feel so inclined
to
to,
shoot a
yeah.
Bigfoot, for example,
Well, a Bigfoot, if
or
they're,
anything.
I mean, okay, you got something like somebody will say, like a dog man, highly aggressive. I'd say fight or flight or stand your ground. And I mean, some Bigfoot can be exactly like that. Others, there are many stories where they've helped people. They're pretty docile. They're just elusive. But apparently in some states it's illegal to kill them. It would be considered murder, like California, for example.
Well, I mean, they're anthropoids, and I saw some research that from somebody that says suggests they're half human by ancestry.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that would be tantamount to,
Hmm.
killing another human being. Period.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm the type of person, though. For example, we know octopuses are extremely intelligent. They have
And
emotion.
they're believed to be not from here. They're believed to be alien.
Yes, alien DNA, and they dream. They change
Wow.
colors and patterns as they sleep. Yeah, they
Yeah.
have REM. I mean, you're talking highly intelligent beings. And I
Yeah.
will never eat an octopus. I go to a restaurant, like a sushi place, something like that, and I'm like, I'm not going to get into like a shouting match with every person there, but I will never order a dish or let anybody with me order a dish that has octopus on it, because
Yeah.
that's my feeling on the subject, that we're
Yeah.
dealing with an intelligent being and we're killing
Yeah.
somebody else. How are we going to all get together if it's all like, stabbity stab, choppity chop, fry, you know,
Hmm.
this, bread and fry, whatever, this type of stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Alan says most dogman things aren't really aggressive. They just look scary, except for those in the land between the lakes. I have heard of many dogman accounts, including one, not far from here,
mhm,
highly aggressive. um, Beast of Bray Road, that was another aggressive one. But land between the lakes, out Allen's way, by the way, a highly aggressive Bigfoot and dogman. Highly aggressive.
mhm,
So, a long story with that, but highly aggressive. So, I guess you have to just use judgment because people have been murdered at Land Between the Lakes. And there's a lot of testimonials about that place. But, again, there are a lot of accounts of even children being helped by Bigfoot, a lot of the native lore.
mhm. I've read different things, including that sometimes there's predation on humans that goes back to Native Americans long before Europeans, came to settle.
Yeah.
Um, the I mean, I guess that's par for the course. You have to, how can I say this? Meet people halfway, meet other
Yes.
beings halfway. If there's no communication, then things happen, things can go
Yeah.
awry. But if you're walking through the woods and a Sasquatch or a
Dog man.
the I don't like the term, and I don't want to say werewolf
Dog
or
man.
wolf man or
Well,
wolf person.
there's some people use the term lichen. Some
Mhm.
people will use, like in Canada, they call them the wolves that walk upright, or they'll call them loup-garou,
Mhm.
or where they call them roux-garou in New Orleans. Like those are the native names for them, right? But
Right.
the wolves that walk upright seem to be something that dogman. I think, yeah, it's harsh, but I mean,
I'll go with either um,
yeah.
uh, a man wolf or I think a lichen is
Lichen is easy. Yeah, I've heard
yeah.
people say that as well. The European terms, but settlers who came here and settled on this side of the world brought a lot of their beliefs with them, and maybe they just brought along a few of their own cryptids as well. It's like.
That's true. But
Mhm.
yeah, so if a wolf person was
Yeah,
to, I mean, aggressively approach somebody in the woods and they are very large and very intimidating looking, and the person has a firearm, I mean,
yeah.
obviously that person's going to be afraid, and something unpleasant could go down.
Mhm.
It's something different if you're just walking along. Oh, hey, this isn't interesting. Let me just shoot this, and I can hang it on my wall,
Mhm.
or take pictures and show to my friends. You have two different
Mhm.
things there. But the
Mhm.
I think it's interesting if everybody watches this you know ABC, this paranormal cat
Yeah,
video. If you look close, you may be seeing a Bigfoot's face
yeah.
in that part. You may be seeing a wolf person's face.
Mhm.
These things are in there. Let me see if I can pull up the frame,
Mhm.
and if I can find the exact one, and I can send it to you.
Okay.
Here's the Cerberus stuff I'm looking at right now, where there's all these different heads. That's definitely the reptilian face right there.
Yeah, because you sent me two pictures, so if there's more, you can
Yeah,
just email or put them up in. You can put them up in Messenger too. I can grab it from here as well.
let's see if I can find it, because I know I kind of tried to highlight it so you could see the teeth and everything. I might have gone too far.
Okay.
That looks like a zombie. Ooh, or something with like glowing eyes. Wait, hold on. I think I got it. Oh, went to. Let's see. I'm gonna hit play. Oh, I just had it. It's gonna take some doing though, because it's without me being able to use a
Mm.
okay, without me being able to use the cursor, it's gonna be hard to show. If I send this to you in private chat here, do you think that'll work?
I don't know.
Let me
Send it to
find
me in
paste.
Messenger. Can you send it in Messenger?
Facebook.
Yeah, I'll grab it from there. I have
Okay.
it open in another window. It might be easier.
Okay, there's that one.
Okay, one
And then
second.
while you're prepping that, oh my God, I just had another video up of me and my daughter when she was like 3. We were playing this game called Frenzy, where we had like all these stuffed animals because she had so many on the other side. One stay on either side of a bed. We'd be throwing the stuffed animals at each other in a frenzy, but they were friends, so it was frenzy and everything. And
Right.
whoever would get the most on the other guy's side would win. Of course,
Hmm.
naturally, I would end up getting like barraged and bonked in the head and fall
Oh
down and all
God.
this stuff like that. No, you have to do these things.
No.
It was just so
Okay.
adorable.
So you want me to put that picture up?
Hold on, wait. I might have
Oh.
a better one. Oh
Okay.
my God. You can throw that up. Let me
Okay.
know
One
when it's
second.
up.
Let me just grab that, and I will share that screen. Here we
Oh
go.
God, it was like
All
right
right. There it
there.
is. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me come over there. Back to this thing here. Okay. So this, see if okay, can you put your cursor,
Where?
hold on, just hold it, all right, just put it right now, hold it right there, stop. Now go straight, where'd your cursor go? It disappeared. Okay, hold still. All right, now move a tiny bit to the right, a little more, right there, stop.
Yeah.
That is what looks like the left eye. You see that circle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now if you look to the left a little bit, you'll see an ape-like nose. Now a little to the left, yeah, a little to the left, right there, stop.
Mm-hmm.
That, and if you go down, there's looks like the formation of like the upper lip, and that's a fang, and there's another one to the left also.
Hmm.
And there's better pictures of it though, but it starts to come through, and it looks like
Right.
an ape-like face.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can possibly get where I actually highlighted this so that it'll show better.
Okay. So just take this one down then. Okay.
Yeah, or you could leave it up for a second.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find. Oh, it's a little better here. We need to. Come on, come to daddy.
Okay. It's very interesting. Like I find the white eyes very interesting. It's just as an anomaly that the camera picked up. Is that how the eyes come up in the camera?
It's just how it is. I mean, I haven't done anything to it. And like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I sent you another one where it shows a little better.
Okay.
And you can see the head is like angled slightly to one side, like it's turned a tiny bit towards its right, just a tiny bit.
Okay, 1 second.
And this is not like, as glaring or obvious as some of the other parts in there. This is more like this, could this be, couldn't it be type thing.
Okay, hold on.
But you just have so many of these faces after a while, you got to take it on faith. Like, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and some stuff is pretty much undeniable. Stuff that you see right there, that's the same thing. Now, can you zoom in a little bit?
Okay, okay, I've got the other one. Where do you? So I'm not on this one right now, but
no, this one is the new one I just sent, right?
No,
I think so.
No, sure? I don't know that. Hold on, I'm going to try. I'm going to have to go because it only lets me do the one at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So just no, that's okay. 1 second. There we are. So this is the other. Oh, you want the one with the eyes, right? The red eyes.
The second image I just sent you, the last one.
This guy. There it is.
We can look at those other two. Okay.
Yeah. This one here is. Yeah. This one here is just different.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Like make the animal bigger?
I will do my best. See if it'll let me zoom. It may not let me zoom at all because I'm not. It's not like a picture. This is Messenger.
It's okay. If I could use my cursor, I can't, unfortunately. But
you can share this on your end too. If you just go to where it says, you see the camera, the TV with the X in it, or with the plus sign in it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to take this off. So if you click on that TV, it'll come up and it'll say share screen. Click on that.
Okay.
Okay, and then it'll say, it'll show you what you have. So if you bring the picture up to your, just to your screen, you can go to window, and you can find it right there under the window. It'll show everything that's on your desktop, and you can click on the one you want.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. I am technically challenged.
I do have it. There you go. That was by accident, Kat, but there's a little plug for you.
Share screen. And then just click share screen again.
Yes.
Okay, share screen. So now everybody can see what I have on my screen. So this is my cursor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all yours. But it has to come up on the share screen and come up, and then I'll put it up because it's not up here.
Okay. So now where it says on allow StreamYard to see your screen, select window or screen, what do I do?
Okay, select screen, click on whatever. Do you have it on your desktop?
I will in a second.
Okay, once it's up. Okay, once it's up, you share screen and go to where it says window. When you click share screen, it'll come up. There'll be 3 options. Go to the one that says window and click on the picture that you want.
I'm confused. Okay, hold on. So here, select window or screen.
Yeah. So click on that little TV. It'll say share screen. And when you share screen, it'll come up.
Yeah, entire screen.
Well, just go. It says share screen. Just click share screen at the bottom there, and then a square will come up. Don't go to entire screen. Just go to where it says window. And when you click on, and click on where it says window, and you'll have whatever picture that you want will be there, and you click on it.
Okay, I'll have to put entire screen then. Allow.
Okay. That's what you want.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to go full screen for this. Okay, so now we're seeing my thing. Okay, then I'm gonna click on this and this. So now you're able to see my screen, and it's a scene from the video.
Yes, but it's not up on the board yet, so you didn't share.
Okay. Yeah. So what do I do to share from here?
Like I said, I walked you through it. Go down to that little icon at the bottom with the TV with a plus sign in it. Click on that.
I did that, but it's not.
Yeah, click share screen. Okay, when you click share screen, it gives you the option. If you go to entire screen, then the whole entire screen will come up. You have to click on it though.
Okay, screen sharing. These are tips. Share screen.
Okay, then
select
go
window screen, entire screen. Allow.
Okay, and then it'll be a picture when you click into. There it is. Okay, so hold on, and I'll grab it. There we go.
Oh,
share screen. So you have us. So that's why I said share window, and then click on. You'll still be able to play with it.
It's a stop screen.
Yeah.
Image file or slide or video file or.
No, go just share screen.
I did that.
Okay, so go to where it says window.
So can you see what my YouTube channel right now?
Yes, right here.
Okay, and is the cursor able to move?
Yep, I can see your cursor. Yep, okay. Perfect. There it is.
All right, so now you can still see it?
Sure can. There you go.
All right, so this is the cat's head. These are its headlights, as I call them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this stuff is very grainy here, but we'll have to work with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this right here, you see that is an eye. That is an eye, and this is an open mouth. The top of it, you're gonna see inside. There's fang. There's aren't showing too well on this side over here. Okay. Right. There's a face over here that's kind of getting dissolved already. Mm-hmm. Top of a face here. This is a mouth. It's dark. You can see a fang, little teeth here and here. Okay. Yeah. This is morphing already. But this is what sort of looks like what could be a Bigfoot. There's an eye here. This one's already blotted out. A nostril or nair here, an upper lip here, fang, the cheekbone here, etc. You see a lot of these things over here. Here's another face over here. There's an eye glinting off of here. See? And stuff like that. A lot of different stuff. But as I move around, I can look at a lot of different things here. Let's see if there's anything here very, very interesting. I mean, this thing is like out of control. This is all just a lot of stuff. Heads are multiplying here. I'm just flipping through stuff here, trying to find something interesting. See, there's multiple heads here, and they're angled, different ones. Some are blinking. Okay, these are heads, different positions and stuff, all at the same time. This is not like residual imagery or anything like that. I'm just trying to find any of the juicy stuff that, this, I think this is when it's all pixelated and stuff over here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I had some stuff here that showed that Bigfoot looking thing better. Yeah. But here, if I play this for a little bit, see right there, where those eyes lit up, that kind of looks like what you call a dog man.
Yeah.
Okay. Those eyes right there, and that's to indicate it. Okay. And then you get over here. I don't have the volume turned up or anything like that, but like one of these, you see that eye right there and that eye here? There's two different ones here. That's a face. That's another face. And right here is very interesting. See the eyes right there? This is in the video. That one eye right there. Now you watch it. It's like a glass hemisphere. You see right there? You can see something moving behind it. Look at the enlargement through the eye. It's actually passing behind its own eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not pareidolia or anything like that. That is just something very unusual.
Yeah.
Now, how do I escape from this. I go here and
You
I hit
just
stop
go,
screen.
just go. Yeah, there you go. See,
I
nice
get
and
very
easy.
nervous dealing with technology and stuff.
I know it's pretty easy here. I like that the program gives the guests the options to share things as well at your pace, sort of thing, which is good. Again, I go back to the fact that you didn't have your camera had been recording
Mhm.
for you know if, you
Years,
know I
couple
mean,
years.
yeah, you have a CCTV cam. It just motion activated. It takes pictures with movement, and you never had this problem before, and it hasn't
No,
happened since. And this just seems to be the anomaly.
right.
But I think you went to a great deal of. I like the effort that you went through. And you majored in film, working with animation and all this sort of stuff. So you kind of have an idea. You have video people and editors as well, and you've talked to cryptozoologists to try to figure this out. So I think you've gone through like every step essentially.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the video is very compelling. I
Mm,
just, you see things in there. You see things in there, and
yeah.
you can't really explain them after a while.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, how can this be just pixels being dragged around and stuff like that? What are the odds of you could say one face appearing on a
Yeah.
cat walking by,
Hmm.
is pareidolia or some sort of pixelation.
Hmm.
But 40 faces?
Yeah, as it's
Uh,
moving, it just keeps happening, and
yeah.
and yeah,
And they
yeah.
contour to the shape of the animal. At
Hmm.
one point, it has like, like it'll have like a limb, and the limb will be the shape of an appropriate size being,
Hmm.
or its rib cage, like the larger parts are occupied by larger images, let's say. So it, and the video, I mean, the camera was outside, so it's not like it wasn't filmed through the window or glass or screen or anything like that. It's just straight out there, and that's what happened.
Hmm.
Um, it was an amazing thing to research, and I'm gonna obviously do a little more on it.
Hmm.
But I have a lot of different things that I've been working on, and I think everybody's gonna be very excited to see them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I thank you for coming on and sharing it with us. It's definitely something people should go watch and see it for themselves. You have the whole thing because it's like a 20+ minute video. So there's quite a bit to see. And wh- share with us time to promote. What do you have coming next? You writing anything interesting?
oh gosh. Well, right now, first off, my YouTube channel is Supernatural Survivor with Max Hawthorne,
Yeah.
which is youtube.com/at real Max Hawthorne. Or if you
Yeah.
just Google at real Max Hawthorne, you're
Yeah.
there. There's a lot of
Very
stuff
good.
on there, research pieces. There is evidence, for example, of a young orca that looks like it was attacked by what could be an actual mosasaur. It has huge wedge-shaped bites on its dorsal where something grabs it and appears to have shaken it, and
Yeah.
it's not an orca. There's a video on there called Mega Shark or Megalodon that I was able to complete with the help of the tutors from Canada, his
Hmm.
family, husband and wife, who
Yeah.
provided me photo and video evidence of a humpback whale. And this
Hmm.
whale has bite marks taken out of it that are, if memory serves, 37 to 40 inches across.
Wow.
And to give you an idea, Bruce the shark, Bruce the Shack, from Jaws, was had a bite, I think, around 25 inches wide, 25, something like that. So
Mhm.
picture something that's 1.5 times that size for a 25-foot shark. We're talking a shark that could be well into well over 30 feet in length. Huge, huge for a bite that size. So there's all video evidence that there's a lot of stuff there. If everybody wants to find me on Facebook, for example, there's a lot of Max Hawthorns out there for some reason, but it's
Yeah.
facebook.com/real Max Hawthorne. Definitely take a moment to say hi. And my website is cronusrising.com,
Mhm.
Cronus with a K. That's where all the books are, or maxhawthorne.com. The maxhawthorne.com actually has that video of the reptilian on there, and some other stuff, some blog posts with some incredible thermal pictures and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
and
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
no, what I'm working on now, um, obviously I'm writing something, and I'm actually contemplating the next video project because there's so much to do. It's, you just get buried. So
Yeah.
thank God I
Yeah.
got a few fishing trophies. I have to find room for Mark Eddy on there somewhere on that wall.
Yeah. There you go, Mark. You're going to make it up there. You will make it up there. Where does comment go? There we go. There can be only one Max. There we
Thank you.
are.
I try.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And I appreciate you filling in short notice as well. So that was great.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. You got some great viewers out there, and everybody have a great night.
Thank you. Good night, Max.
Later, Gators.
Well, everybody, we have come to the end of another awesome segment. And, I had to do something that I did not have to do. I had to literally, ban somebody tonight for just yipping off. I've said it, I don't know how many times. Disrespect my guests, disrespect my chat room, you're disrespecting me. And I don't have room for that. So that's the way it goes. Zero tolerance. I think I've been more than patient and I've had enough. Anyway, with that being said, thank you to Max for coming in and taking the time to share his research. Whether you believe it, whether you don't believe it, showed you respect. Go in, check the video out for yourself, and just have some common courtesy being in the chat room. So, that being said, next week, Beyond the Outer Realm, Mark Ollie returns for a new uncensored show. Who is really running the world? Digging deep into secret societies. Wednesday welcomes back Presta Dennett and Dolly Saffron discussing UFOs in the Niagara region, hidden in the clouds, cityscapes in the skies, underwater, and so much more. Thursday welcomes for the very first time Rosanna Hannes, Roxy Glow, and a topic: an invitation to star peace, a vision for peace on earth. Nice and light. Nice and light. I love it. So, anyway, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for, yeah, thank you. Always a pleasure. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent stuff. Thank you. And guys, I appreciate everybody who just plays nice in the sandbox. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you. So, have a fantastic weekend. I know Canada's got a long weekend, so be safe out there on the roads. Catch me on Father Sean's Paranormal Mystery or Ministries. Father Sean's Paranormal Mysteries tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It's their 1-year anniversary, and they're having an open mic, and yours truly gets to hang out with them and have a little bit of fun. So check them out. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend and good night.